Hi guys, and today I want to teach you and show you how to create an event list on a SharePoint site. So basically there are two ways we can go about this. Either by adding the event as a calendar on your site, but in the form of an application, or you could use a web part, the event list web part, to also create the same effect, of an event that you would like to have on your SharePoint site to be accessed by the members of those particular sites. So what they can pretty much do there will be to track upcoming events. For example, it could be a team launch, it could be a company meeting, it could be um, new product demo, and so on. So I'll basically just show you how to create it and possibly how to troubleshoot it. Okay. So let me show you the first method. The first method will be to add it as an application to any SharePoint site. So definitely you have to be the site owner. So I will navigate to a particular site, and the site that I'm currently showing is a demo site. Okay, so let me exit this. So it's just a typical theme site template that I created. Nothing fancy, no much customization on this. So what you would do would be to navigate to the home page, which is where I am. I'm on the top level of the site. As you can see in the URL, I am highlighted. So you navigate to the top right, click on the settings, and then you add an app. When you add an app, it take you to the SharePoint store. The SharePoint store basically allows you to, or allows members to add applications that are useful to their day-to-day activity or productivity, basically, right? So they can add a useful automation app or whatever application that they want to include in their respective SharePoint site. So this is not specific to only global admins or SharePoint administrators. As long as your users are allowed in your organization to create a SharePoint site, what it means is that they can access the SharePoint store by default. All right, the same way I just clicked on the settings gear icon and selected add an app, it takes them to the SharePoint apps, which is where we are. In the SharePoint apps, you have different tabs. We are currently viewing the My Apps tabs. Basically, this is where the users would see the applications they have previously added or the site owner has added for them. To the next will be the SharePoint store that now gives more available third-party applications that they can incorporate. Like for example, they can add Slack, they can add add approval systems. All right, so they can connect approval flows to their list and so on. Okay, and basically, if they need or require a an application, they can just choose the application and the request will be sent to the global admin or the SharePoint admin. All right, so for them to track the request, if it has been approved or granted, then they will come to the third tab on this page, which is My Request. All right, so I'll show or demonstrate that later. But I want to draw your attention to this particular place that says these are SharePoint store or custom apps allowed by your organization. Built-in apps such as custom list, document library, calendar, and others can be found in the classic experience. That is to say, if you want to access certain custom applications that are pre-built, you cannot see those on, say, for example, the general SharePoint store. All right, so you tell them to click on the classic experience. You click on the classic experience, and then you search for, in this case, since we're doing a demonstration for event calendar, I'll just type event and click on search. So event comes out. You can see it's a calendar. Yes, because we have, if we track events through calendar, so that's why it's showing as a calendar. So it comes as a pre-built application. All right. So I will just click on it, and it's going to add it to this particular site, guys. It will add it to this particular site. So you just give it a name. So in this case, I'll just say event demo. Remember, I said that there are two ways. So this is the first way. I'll show you the second way in a bit. All right. And then you have the option to group calendar options. Use this calendar to share member schedule. All right, guys. And so you click on create. So it's creating the calendar. So here it is. See, nothing fancy, it's just very boring. I mean, it's just a classic calendar basically, right? uh, well, you have so many people that still make use of this, all right? So you can see that once it's created, it brings out a ribbon by which we can now customize this calendar or add events to our calendar. So on the top where we have event tab, we have new event, we have view events, we have edit event. So I'm just going to do a couple. I will click on new event, and this allows us to create new meeting, deadline, or other events. So I'll select that, and it creates a form. All right, so the form basically is easy to just input details. All right, so we just input details there. So I'm just going to give an example of an event. So I'll say team launch. So let's say, for example, we're going to launch a team. So team launch, and location. So you can see location could be boardroom. All right, and then we'll just set a dead a time. Basically, guys, is just for demonstration. If you want to make a recurring event, you can extend the time basically, right? So let me just say that this would be for tomorrow. So I'll say the start time will be tomorrow. That will be 11th, and then the time I'll select it to 8 a.m. And it will still end tomorrow, and it's just going to be for an hour. All right, so it's going to end at 9 a.m. just for an hour. um, I could just put a description here. um, this is the launching of a new team. Okay, and then we can specify category. Is it meeting, work hours? So category, is it a meeting, work hours, business, holiday, get together, anniversary? So I'll just select meeting. Specify your own values, which we have that option too. I'll leave it as default. Then all day event, is it an all day event? If we select this, which means we want it to be an all day event, it's optional. Then recurring, make this a repeating event. That is if we're going to be having, several launch, team launch. Remember, it's just as a demonstration. I'm just using this case scenario as, as a demonstration. So I would just uncheck that, and then save. So you can see how it appears here, guys. So how do I basically monitor this? Now I have members that are on this particular site. So I'm going to switch to one of those users to see how the members will view the calendar, and if they can even add their own details depending on the permissions that they have. Please pay attention, depending on the permission that they have. So I'm going to switch to a user who has access to this particular site. So let me drag the screen. All right, so this is the user. I'm logged in as Deborah. So I would just navigate to the site, and the name of the site is called demo. And On the home page of the site, you would not see that particular event calendar. So where would you see it? You would have to navigate to the site content of the SharePoint site. In the site content is where you will see the calendar. Look at it, guys. Now, the type of that calendar or object that was created is called an event list. All right. So sometimes you could hear people saying, how do I create an event list? Yes, they typically mean how can I create a calendar on my SharePoint site? They could also be implying how do I add or integrate a calendar to my SharePoint site? It's the same thing. All right. They're indirectly just trying to tell you, please could you show me how I can create an event list on my SharePoint site? All right. So the type is called an event list. So if we go click here, you can see um, I already have created an event there before, guys. So you can see I have two events there. Let me go back. So the new one I created is called event demo because I just wanted to show you as a demonstration. But I have another one called events, as you can see, guys. So if I click there, you can see it's empty basically. All right, so let's go to the one that I have imputed a, an information, as you can see, guys. All right, so this is another user who is a member of the site, and this user can as well add items to it of her own. So for example, she could add a company meeting. So um, so this company meeting could be like a huddle, like a team huddle. So location, Vi Teams. So we could just say Vi Teams, and then so it's a meeting, and we could make this recurring, right, guys? So and then we can set it to be weekly or every weekday. So every weekday will be from start date will be from say today, and then it should go for to end when and after. So we select the date. I just want to show you how it appears when it's reoccurring. So start date, start time would be say in the morning, 8. I don't know. Let's put it at say 10 for huddle, so 10 to 11. All right, and then it's weekday. So let's select end date. So so we could put it to the end of the month. All right, guys. All right, so let's see how this appears. Make this an all day event, no. Make this a repeating event, yes. So we save. I just want to show you how it says so you can see just exactly how you typically book, yeah, book your calendar, right, in Outlook, or you book your calendar in say um you know any integrated event tracker, all right, that you are used to or comfortable with. It's possible to integrate similar type of event on a SharePoint site. So that's what I'm demonstrating to you guys, and you can see that from here you can actually click to get details of the meeting. All right, can we add, someone asked me if we can add like a teams meeting where they can join the teams meeting from there. I haven't tried it, but you could try that out to see if you can add a teams meeting to it and link from there. All right, so you could try that. So let us see the second method of how we can add an event list. All right, but however, I also want to show you that we can restrict who can see this particular list. That is to say, we can restrict who can see this particular event list. We can restrict who can see this particular event list. So how do we restrict who can see this particular event list? I'll navigate to the event list settings. So I would go back to the site content. So from the site content is where I would see all the objects that are created here, and this is a shortcut to navigate to the settings of the event list I want to customize. So I go to the event list. So from the event list, I can click on permission for this list. Permission for this list. So when I'm in the permission for this list, immediately you observe that the list that was created is a child of a particular parent. So the parent of the event list is the part or place or location where it was created from. It was created from the site. So in other words, it would always inherit the permission from the parent. If I want to customize and ensure that there is control of who accesses this particular event list, then I will have to stop the inheritance, guys. So I'll stop the inheritance by clicking on this button to stop the inheritance. Okay, and then I have full control. That is, I can now proceed in customizing my event list. Again, some people have asked me, hi Obi, does this affect, if we stop the inheritance, does it affect users who are already members of the site? No, it doesn't. They will still have their access, when you stop inheritance, until you now directly prevent them from accessing it, which is what I want to do basically. So here I have two users I've shown you who has access to this particular event list calendar that I've created. This user who is currently being viewed, and then the other user, all right, who happens to be the person who created the list. So I want to block one of them. So I will come here, and from here I can already see the two people who have access. So this particular MOD administrator, I don't want him to access that particular list. So I'm going to click here and remove user permission. But I will have to still confirm to be sure that he's not getting access to the event list from any location through any group whatsoever. By doing so, I will have to click on the check permission button and search for the name of the user. Since I already know the name, I will just type the name here and click on check now. You can see that it says permission levels given to this person is none. So it means that if I switch to his profile, which is currently this user that I've switched to, you can see MOD administrator. The moment I refresh the page, I receive the message, sorry, you don't have access. This is expected behavior because he doesn't have permission for that. But he should still have access to the site. So I'm going to switch to the site. So this is the site. As you can see, this is the site. And if I go to the site content, I should not see the event demo. You can see, guys, it's not showing in his own profile. All right, he's only seen this particular one, but the other one is not there because I have customized the permission on that particular list. All right, so let me switch back, and then I want to show you the second approach or the second method in which we can add an event list through a web part. So we can use web parts, all right, which is much user friendly. The GUI is much interactive than the classic event calendar, all right, which is the custom calendar we just added. So how do we do this? You have to go to the top level of the site, which is where I am, and then you click on the edit to edit the page, the landing page of the SharePoint site. So from the landing page of the SharePoint site, you can now add the web part of the event. So how do you do that? You just hover your mouse on any location, or you could decide to add a new section. All right, so this is a section. All right, so you could decide to add a new section. So I can add a new section, or here I could just click on this new button to add a new web part. And then I'll just type events. So you can see that there is an event with the icon of a calendar. All right, and then you can see that it's already set to July. It has a much beautiful, GUI than the classic calendar I showed you, which is the first method. So I could just give it a name. Upcoming events is what I'll give it. Upcoming events, and then I can decide to click on add. So team launch. Right, so upcoming events, and then I can edit the web part if I want to customize certain things. So for example, I can choose the source where I want, you know, so basically the web parts are like connectors, meaning that they connect to different sources, pull data from those locations and display for the users or for the members who have the correct permissions to see or view those. So that's what it's saying here. So if you can see on the right, under source category, if I expand it, it says event list on this side. No, I want actually from all sites, all right, or select sites. So basically, if I choose on select sites, then I can choose from other sites that this user has access to. It's really lovely, meaning that from a particular point, I can pull data from or events from other SharePoint sites that I belong to help me keep track of, the informations basically. I can also enable audience targeting. So what do we use audience targeting for? It's basically for segmentation. All right, guys, for segmentation. So I could also choose the layouts. All right, you could see how that changed. Show up to this many items at a time. I could reduce that number or I could increase it. It all depends. These are all dependent on your choice. Okay, so I'll just leave some as default and then I could just select all sites. Okay, and then I will save or it just saves automatically. All right, so I'm going to publish. So I'll republish so that you see how it shows up, on the site. So I've republished and immediately you can see my upcoming events and then I could click on create an event as a member and you can see how lovely the formatting of the form that I can use on the web part to add an event. It's beautiful. I like it. Compared to the classic form that we used to add, okay? They're way, way, way different. So I could just add this one and say, I could just put tutorial. Guys, it's just generic, okay? And I could set it for 1 p.m. 1 p.m. 1 p.m. to 3. So location will be Teams. Or you can see, so where you can see this is connected to location, right? So you could choose, oh, do I want to have it in Texas? Where is the event happening? Is the event is happening in Texas or my location, Nigeria? Okay. You could also link address. Okay. Um, you could also choose category meeting. I think this should allow us to add a meeting link for it because it says enter. Yes, so this is where we can enter in a Teams meeting. So we could generate a Teams meeting for this and paste it. Let me see if I can quickly do that with this profile. So I will launch Teams. I just want to create an event link. So I'll just launch Teams, and then I'll go to the date, new meeting. So I'll say tutorials, right? And I just want to generate. Okay, so I'm going to add members. Let me add members, Bianca. Okay, all right, and then okay, so I'll add Bianca and say maybe another user, and it's for, and the time will be for 1 p.m. 1 p.m. 1 p.m. to 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, and then I'll send. Okay, so it generates that link. Then I could go and copy that link. I could just copy the link here, guys. Then navigate back to the site, so the event that I was creating, and then paste the link here. Okay, that's what I just wanted to demonstrate to you. Event participants. So here I can also add the participants because it's connected to our directory. And then mod. So as many as possible. Um, can you add external users? Someone can ask me, can you add external user? As long as the external user, depending on your sharing policy, guys. So if you have enabled sharing policy to anyone, you can share the link with them. So let's see how this appears. All right, so I've created it, and then I would navigate to the home. I hope I saved that. Let me check again. Oops. Hope I saved it. You. Oh. Okay. I think I did. I saved it. It says what here? Okay, display name. So display name will be tutorial. So events, join meeting, display name. Yeah. And then save. All right. So I'll switch to Bianca. So this is Bianca's profile. Let me draw that screen. So Bianca should get an email in her Outlook. So guys, these are just test users on my tenant. I'm using a developer tenant. It's just it's free. It's accessible by Microsoft. So you could just go to demos.microsoft.com to activate your own test tenant, and then you add a custom domain to it. So you can see the event has come as an email to Bianca. Now this is coming from the teams that I created, but let us see also from the site. So if Bianca, who is the user, goes to the same SharePoint site that she's a member of, depending on where she's been given access to, go to site content. So you can see she can see the event. All right, so this is the one that was created from the classic page. So if I go to the home of the site and scroll down, Bianca should see upcoming event, which is the web part that's been added. And then you can see team launch, company meeting. All right. And then if she clicks on this particular event, show all events. I'm looking for the one that has the 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 link. Show all. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So we could also, let's come back here. What was the title of the event I named the web part as? It's tutorial. Okay, so it's tutorial I'm looking for. See all. Have you seen it? See all. Mm, okay, let's type the name. See. Okay. All right. Okay. So basically, what you're observing is the fact that event access is heavily driven by the permission the members have to that particular site or to that particular list, guys. So you want to also ensure you check that carefully. So with this, I hope you've been able to see how you could add or create an event list, either using a web part or adding the event list calendar as an application. We also saw that you can restrict the permission of anybody to that particular list, to that particular event list. We also observed that it creates a calendar, and this calendar can be accessed in Outlook. If I go to Outlook of the user who created it, or even the members of this particular site that have access to that event list, if you go to the Outlook, you should be able to also see it, there basically. Now, in the classic event list, there used to be an option for you to connect your Outlook to that particular event list so that you can manage it via your Outlook. Let me show you what I mean. I'll navigate back to the site content. I want to go to the classic event list, this which is this particular one here. Classic. If I expand the ribbon um, and go to calendar, there is the button that says connect to Outlook. Now, the difference between this and the web part is that the web part is already connected to Outlook, all right, through the Microsoft 365 group, all right. But the old method, which is this, did not have that connection. So you have to add it to your Outlook. And particular Outlook it connects to is the classic Outlook, guys. Is the to let you know. So in case you have some users who are complaining that they cannot see it in their Outlook, this, that, just let them know that they can. So look at the Outlook here on the web. So you can see the tutorial that I've added is already showing on the calendar of the person's Outlook. All right, guys. So hope this was okay. Please let me know. You can give me your feedback or ask any questions. I'll be very delighted um, to walk you through more options. Okay. All right. Thank you.